pace with control of this race. Here comes a run from Davey Hazard. He blocks the 10. Not going to be enough. Ryan Pace is going to win at Talladega.
Trying to hold off Wilson. He's done a good job so far. Wilson, one last desperate attempt to the bottom. He won't get there. Nick Curry wins at Bristol.
Coming out turn number 2, coming down the back straightaway here. Looks like he's in a class of his own right now.
Merzlak, one final time, get around the 55, big time send.
He hits the wall, he hits it, he gets the lead, but can he hang on to it? Oh my goodness, he made it to the line!
Big push down the backstretch is going to give him a good run through the corners.
So a little bit
follow from the 1.
A little bit of contact there for second, but coming to the line, Toby Roberson's going to take home the checkered flag and victory here from the new Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Before I wrap things up here in this segment, your thoughts on the type of race we're going to see tonight? And I would have to agree.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, welcome to tonight's feature presentation of the Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series live here on JTN. We head to the Kansas Speedway tonight. Hello and welcome, folks. My name is JoeTowNetwork. Joining me up here in the booth tonight, you know him, you love him. He is the one, the only Mr. Dewey Schramm III. Dewey, what's crack-a-lackin'?
My elbow.
Oh, poor choice of words on my part.
Yeah, that's okay. It happens.
At least your mouth isn't broken, you know?
That's true.
And your brain.
Yeah.
Those are kind of vital things to broadcasting.
Just a war wound.
Just... do you, for folks that... I think we told this story on Tuesday, but do you want to tell folks what happened real quick before we start?
Yeah, so for the skinny, we just had a group meetup, right? In Charlotte, a bunch of us buddies all got together, and we played Foursquare in a parking lot. Which, if you've never played it before, it's very fun. And I was playing it with them, and I tripped going for the ball, and I fell and crushed my elbow. And I ended up with a hairline fracture in it. So now I'm in a sling for a couple weeks. And that's that.
So you didn't learn how to fall from Brad Marchand?
Unbelievable.
No? Okay.
Yeah, no, I put my elbow out to, like, protect my fall, because I'm like, you know, I'll hit my elbow a little bit, and I'll roll over, and I'll be good. And then I just crushed my elbow instead.
Not how you fall. Not how you're supposed to fall.
No, not quite.
This is your Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series race preview. Here tonight, we're at the Kansas Speedway. It's, of course, presented by AutoSim2, as always. 94 laps around this 1.5 mile speedway here in just outside of Kansas City. We're going to have some fun tonight. Qualifying underway. You see those results and numbers kind of trickling across the top of your screens at home. I'm Joe. He's Dewey. So we're kind of winding down our Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series season here. Getting ready to enter the last 2 months of the year of this season before we take about a month break and start back up in the fall. But Dewey, it's the championship hunt. It's pretty well in hand for the 18 of Tyler Mallon, but still a lot of positions to be decided throughout the points.
Yeah, obviously Tyler kind of starting to run away with this thing for the most part, but again, you mentioned it, there's been some great battles throughout the entire season. Of course, we've seen Ricky J pull out some wins, you've seen KJ have some great runs, Steve Grant's been strong all year, so still a lot to be played out and earned over this last 2 or so months of the season. So even though the championship isn't decided yet, it's pretty close to being decided, probably. But again, no shortage of positions and pride and all that to be duked out here over this home stretch of the season. And we're starting that stretch off at a track that is now home to the closest finish in NASCAR Cup Series history. So, you never know. Maybe we'll see something like that here tonight.
Well, Dewey, we've seen some close finishes here of our own. At Kansas. Think about both of last year's races were phenomenal, but before we get to the race here tonight, we got to go through the starting lineup. Why don't you take the folks at home through it?
Indeed, and Tyler Mallon not on the pole tonight, notably. Instead, it is Mac Daddy in the 28. Keith McLean going to lead us to the green flag tonight. KJ qualifies in second, and he'll join that 28 on the front row. Back in row 2, it's going to be Steve Grant in the 011 and Rick Craddock in the 22. Terry Scott and Joshua Clements comprise row number 3. Tower Mountain qualifies 7th. Apparently he left his race setup in for qualifying by accident, so oops. But 7th isn't too shabby either. And he'll be joined in row 4 by Silver Bullet in the 4. BSR Nelly and Magoo back there in row number 5, the last 2 cars to take a time, with BSR Brain Fade and Wiley King back in row 6. And then rounding out tonight's 14-car field, it'll be Monty Keller in the 028 and Greg Stenzo in the 51. So a bit of a smaller field, perhaps than usual. Only 14 here taking the green tonight, but should be no shortage of action, though. Of course, as we saw at Bristol.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Should be a good one.
Should be.
Yeah.
Should be a good one.
Yeah, Bristol had a tad smaller field, but took them a while to really get their feet underneath them in that one. But
Yeah.
sometimes you just have a little funky one every so often.
What happens when you say a funky one? What's kind of going through those drivers' minds in those situations?
Well, it's just hard to really get a rhythm established when you have all those early incidents. But obviously, we saw later on in the race, we saw some good green flag runs and some good passing opportunities and everything. So obviously, you want to get that run started as quickly as possible, but the cards don't always fall that way. So always got to stay prepared and on your feet for whatever might happen and whenever it may happen.
Whatever, whenever, however, whoever.
Exactly.
You know what the keyword there is? Or
What's that?
syllable? 2 syllables, I guess.
Ever.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Exactly.
Craddock, the 22 ski machine.
Always a good-looking car out there.
Mm-hmm. Neon green. Terry Scott and Nelly out there. Looking for some good runs tonight out of these two.
And Nelly's had some strong runs recently, but doesn't quite have all the finishes maybe that show the speed that car had. But good opportunity here tonight to change that and get a solid top 5 run in, perhaps.
And that's uncharacteristic out of Nelly. Nelly's usually one of the drivers that's solid run throughout, and then kind of that 103 team, they hit their peak right at the end of the race when you want to be peaking, right?
Exactly.
So kind of seen the opposite of that here the last few weeks out of this team, involved in a couple incidents and whatnot. So they're trying to correct course here tonight from Kansas. See KJ there in the 029.
Another really good scheme out there.
A little salty.
Good old Morton Salt.
Or maybe getting a little salty.
I hope not. Got about 10 seconds left here in happy hour, so if you're itching to get this thing started like I am, you're not going to have to wait too much longer. Getting some last minute adjustments in, maybe practicing pit road entry here. Doing whatever you can to get that little leg up on the competition. $94 laps tonight at Kansas. Fuel run looks to be 35-ish laps, so probably going to be about a 2-stopper here if it goes green all the way. Perfect weather for this race, of course. Clear 70 like it always is. It's almost like it's programmed or something.
It's crazy, man.
Yeah,
We just keep getting such great luck with the weather.
we do. Yeah.
And other racing bodies and broadcasters don't, but we do.
No. We had great weather on that Charlotte trip, except for the Coke 373.5.
The Coke 600 kilometers.
Yeah. Bit of a disappointing end to that one.
Well, we're not going to have a disappointment for you folks here tonight because we're going to have some great racing from Kansas. Don't touch that search bar. Don't navigate away. Welcome in, Michael.
If you'd like to hit the like button and subscribe, though, while you're here, that'd be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool.
But shout out to friend of the program, Joey Stefanu, a big Kyle Larson fan. Drove up from Florida for the race to see the back half of Kyle Larson's double attempt and never got to see him in the car. A bit of a rough night for Joey, but still had a blast meeting them and everything.
Drivers, start your...
KJ starting on the outside of the front row said he spun out twice last night, so that is, don't do it at the front, KJ, please. Please.
I mean, in an ideal world, it doesn't happen at all, but, you know, definitely, hopefully, not at the front, though.
Definitely, hopefully.
Something like that.
Definitely.
Oh, we got contact on the pace lap here. Rick Craddock just got into Steve Grant. I wonder if there's a... I don't know what happened there, but still good.
Oh, we're rolling.
Yeah, we're rolling now. Mac Daddy on the bottom, KJ on the top, Steve Grant on the bottom, Rick Craddock on the top, Terry Scott on the bottom, rounding out your starting five here for Kansas Speedway. 94 laps, mile and a half, not super speedway, intermediate track. Going to be a good one here tonight. And we're just about ready to take the green.
Mac Daddy with control pole sitter here tonight, looking for another good run. Had a great one last week at Chicago. Green flag, we're racing here from the Kansas Speedway.
Yeah, Rick Craddock didn't get a great start there on the outside in that 22, but will file in quickly behind that 011 of Steve Grant. And up at the front, KJ with a great run here in the middle of turns 1 and 2, and he's going to clear Mac Daddy out of 2 for the race lead.
Great start on the outside for KJ. Mac Daddy now settling it there into the second spot. First battle for position is between Terry Scott and Tyler Mallon. Terry going to lose another spot now to Nelly in the 103.
Looks like we had one pit start here. That's Wiley King in the 95s. He's just now getting up to speed down the backstretch here.
They've had some transponder issues on that 095 car here tonight. They were worried about not even being able to make the race, so good to see Wiley out on track. Because we got one in the wall. It's Magoo in the 144.
That's going to slow that 144 down a little bit, but getting it back going already here down the back and into 3.
Now, I heard he was enjoying some of that Kansas City barbecue tonight for the race, so keep an eye.
Nothing wrong with that.
He'll be fueled up and ready to go. Although, Kansas City barbecue? What is it? It's not vinegar based. That's Carolina barbecue, right?
Yeah, vinegar is Carolina, which is very good as well. Personally, that's my favorite barbecue, but hopefully that doesn't turn too many heads in the chat.
Okay, suck up.
Uh-huh. Well, Silver Bullet has gotten by Rick Craddock for 5th. Joshua Clements got by the 22 before, so Craddock now already down 2 spots since the drop of the green. Top 6 all single file here, nose to tail through 1 and 2 still. Back together like a can of sardines here down the backstretch.
Clements now looking to the inside of Steve Grant, heading down into turn 3. Going to have some help from Silver Bullet in the 4, although that Ford car starting to drift up on corner exit. Mac Daddy also trying to apply some pressure to the leader, Kilojoules, in the 029.
Yeah, Mac Daddy trying to apply pressure, but Steve Grant, the 011, trying to do the same thing to the 28. As again, all 6 of these guys up at the front separated by about half a second still, so not a lot of separation, which means not a lot of room for error so far in this one. Mistakes cannot be made when you got all these guys so close together, battling up at the front. Battle for 4th, though. Clements might get passed here on the high side by that 4 car of Silver Bullet. Still side by side here down into turn 1. with Rick Craddock right on the back bumper of that 92, trying to regain that ground he lost.
And Joshua being down there on the bottom in that 92, it's going to use up those tires a little bit more. We talked about in the open, these drivers all complaining about tire wear. It's pretty hot, pretty heavy at this racetrack. I wouldn't want to be doing anything extra right now to wear away my good years. Rick Craddock now to the inside of Silver Bullet. That's the battle for the 5th spot.
Yeah, and very interesting that you mentioned tires as well, because as you said before, the fuel window going to be roughly 30-35 laps, but those tires are really going to fall off a little earlier than that, probably around lap 26-27. They're going to really be hurting. So some guys you may see pit a little early and maybe risk having to pit for a 3rd time in lieu of having fresher tires for more laps. So opens up the door for an interesting strategy call later on in this race, where maybe we see a couple of drivers pit way earlier and employ a 3-stop strategy as opposed to 2. But right now, Mac Daddy employing the take the lead strategy, as that 28 now up to the front as KJ is starting to fade back up high.
AJ losing 1, 2, 3 positions there in that 029. An early indication that that car, well, and that driver maybe used up those good years a little too much in the opening 8 laps. KJ falls back into the 5th spot.
And now Nelly has joined the fray in this 103. He's going to pass Silver Bullet for 6th here into 1. And actually, the entire back half of the field is starting to get pulled in to this main group as well. All the way back to Brain Fade. This top 11 separated by only 2 seconds still this far into the run is pretty remarkable. That margin for error has not increased at all, as we got a battle for 2nd. Joshua Clements on the bottom, Steve Grant on the top. Looks like it's going to be the 92 at the line by just a nose as he tries to get his best finish of the season.
Clements will complete the pass there off of turn number 2. Now Craddock to the inside of Steve Grant. Grant clips the wall a little bit there on exit of turn number 2. That'll slow down the momentum of the 011 Pontiac. Not enough, though, to allow that 22 to make the pass, as Craddock has to slide back in line. He'll reside in the 4th spot for the time being.
Yeah, I mentioned those transponder issues a few moments ago for Wiley King. Looks like it's bit him again here as he's fallen out of the server in that 95. So hopefully he can get back in here pretty quick and minimize the damage, but not the start to the night that that team wanted. And Magoo about 8 seconds back after that contact with the wall a couple laps in, but still everybody else on track only 2 seconds apart. So
Oh, we got one around.
never
Silver
mind.
Bullet.
Silver Bullet's around at a 4.
He's not around. He keeps it going straight. Oh, he's going around now. He's in the grass. Here comes Magoo. No caution.
Yeah, he's still green, and yeah, I think he might have blown a tire. It wouldn't surprise me if he was stuck in the grass there, unable to move. So that's going to be a tow for him, and that's devastating for that team tonight, because with no caution plus a tow, it's going to be probably a minute, minute and a half at least before that car even begins to be serviced, and at that point he's going to be down 3, 4, maybe 5 laps. But just like that, the night for Silver Bullet has gone down the drain. He's going to need quite a few cautions to get himself back in contention. Now looks like 4 fresh tires now being put on the 4, so not as long of a tow as I anticipated, but he's still going to lose at least 2 laps here, possibly 3.
As it looks like we lost our cameras, so we'll get those
Unbelievable.
back up for you folks at home. Dewey will take you radio style for the time being.
Now, Mac Daddy had opened up about a half-second lead or so over those last couple laps, but now the 92 of Joshua Clements has slowly been chipping into that, and now the gap at the line is down to about 2.5 tenths, so give it a couple laps. That 92 may be your new race leader, but he's got a bumper full of Rick Craddock in the 22 as well. So still, again, no margin for error for anybody in this field, but especially that 92, who I'm sure would love to lead this thing.
Drivers, to your cars.
Silver Bullet now back on the track, only 2 laps down, so not as bad as, again, I thought it would be, but he'll still need a couple of yellows to get back in it. Gonna pass Magoo here out of 4, not for position though.
Tyler Allen looking to the inside. Nelly for position. Lead that
put that
pass.
18 up into 6th. And still very early, but at least so far, it doesn't seem that the 18 has quite the speed that the leaders have, something that we're not really accustomed to at this point, I guess. But again, there's still a lot of time for that car to come alive and be stronger in the longer run, but we're so used to that car being good on the short run and the long run that you'd think he was already leading by 2 seconds by this point. Trying to chase down that 029 of KJ for 5th as we complete lap number 17. Field is starting to spread out just a bit more. Looks like Terry Scott, Monty Keller, Brain Fade, and a little group of their own, about a second back of everybody else. But the remaining top 7, still under 2 seconds separating Nelly from our leader, Mac Daddy. Pretty quiet and tame start to the night here at Kansas. Nothing wrong with that, though, certainly.
Nothing wrong with it.
As Mac Daddy will come around this time with 75
Craddock's around.
to
Dewey,
go,
you had to
and-
say something.
Oh, man. Yep. There I go, jinxing stuff again.
Oh my goodness.
And this spin will be a caution. First one of the night.
Show some emotion. Jeez.
Unbelievable. What have I done?
Craddock going around here. Just got loose on corner exit. KJ does a good job. I don't know if he hits him, and if he does, it's not all that hard.
That was a little more than a good job. That was a great job.
Let's go on board with the driver of the 029. See how much, if any, contact there is.
Now, all of a sudden, you see the guy in 3rd place spinning right in front of you. You got to see his smoke, don't know where he's going, and
Yeah, a little
what
tap.
a job to back that thing down and minimize contact. Could have been way, way worse.
Oh, we've seen way, way worse. This week, actually.
Yeah, we have.
Welcome in, Dalton.
So Craddock should be good to go with 4 fresh tires slapped on that thing. Looks like everybody else is going to do the same, save for the 4, who looks to be taking the wave around here to get a lap back. Looks like Brain staying out here to get a lap led in that 49. So first pit stops of the evening here, as these teams get their service done. Mac Daddy going to win the race off pit road. Joshua Clements, Tyler Mallon 3rd off pit road, so he leapfrogs KJ and Steve Grant here on this round of stops. Great job there for the 18 crew to put that car further up in the field.
Folks, got some great racing action coming up for you here on JTN. Next time we're live is 1 week from tonight as the Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series heads to the Talladega Super Speedway. Always entertaining race at Talladega. Coverage kicking off at 9:05 p.m. Eastern Time for that one. Then 2 weeks from tonight, the Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series heads to the California Auto Club Speedway. 9:05 p.m. Eastern Time on June 13th. And then Maverick Night in America returns to JTN June 18th from the Bristol Motor Speedway. Coverage of that one kicking off at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Those races, of course, live right here only on JTN, presented by
Scheme Haven.
.com.
That is a great slate of races there.
That is. So you
Especially, obviously, can always look forward to Talladega.
Right.
But obviously, Auto Club is always a great race, and Maverick at Bristol is going to be one heck of an experience from a viewer standpoint. That's going to be a good one.
Definitely from a viewer standpoint.
Good old Maverick Night in America. Had a little Maverick watch party last Tuesday. Good time. Looks like we have a couple of takers on pit road this time, perhaps to top off on fuel. Tyler Mallon is one of them. Looks like KJ and Nelly electing to do the same. So we mentioned that Tyler's crew did one heck of a job of getting up there into third place, but he is going to get rid of that spot, or give up that spot, in lieu of a little bit of extra tires and fuel. So we'll start closer to the rear here for this restart. And that's going to put Steve Grant back up into third, where he was before this caution.
Oh, yeah. Alright, so we reset you. We talked about it on the open tires maybe being an important aspect of this race, and some drivers coming down to top off on fuel here under this caution. It might just put them in a spot where they can make it on one more stop in this race. To do so, though, they would have to make it to lap number 60, so it would be very, very, very close. This does set you up, though, 2 more green flag pit stops, which was a 3-stop strategy we talked about potentially being viable, but definitely not something if this race ran green to checkered we would recommend these drivers do. Nonetheless, first restart of the night, green flag. We're back underway here, coming to lap 24 of 94, 71 laps to go.
Yeah, I think for this to be a one-stop race from here, there's going to need to be a bit of fuel saving done on both this run and the next one. Maybe we'll see somebody try it. Maybe they'll decide the tires aren't worth it. But Joshua Clements has decided taking the lead is worth it right now. And that 92 will rocket to the lead for the first time tonight. And Clements will take that lap lead here with 70 remaining.
And you need to save about 3 laps, because you can go about 68 on a tank on two tanks of fuel. 34 is a aggressive number on a tank of fuel, so say 68. So you'll need to save a little bit here. Again, is it doable? Yes. Are you going to want to do it, though, with the fall-off we've seen, especially if a lot of drivers elect to pit? We don't know just yet. And we've seen the fuel strategy come into play here a couple times at this racetrack specifically, in this league especially, over the last few years.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be possible now at this rate, but again, these drivers will have to make up their mind about whether or not it is worth it with, again, how much fall-off there is. This place is just eating up those tires, and will the time difference be enough to make it worth it? Well, we'll find out soon enough. But for right now, Mac Daddy trying to chase down that 92 and take that top spot back, but that purple Chevrolet looking pretty good right now. Monty Cower now up into 4th, gained quite a few spots there under that caution. Now that 028 is looking pretty good up there, running right behind Steve Grant in the 011.
Mountain Dew Game Fuel on the hood of that race car.
I have never had Game Fuel. You ever had Game Fuel?
Mm-mm. No, I don't think my mama would let me get it growing up either, you know?
Sounds about like my mom too, but that's okay. Battle further back. not for position, though. Silver Bullet on the low side of Brain Fade, of course. That 4 car is still 1 lap down from his earlier spin. Got 1 lap back on that wave around under this yellow, but he's going to need another one here to put himself in a position to pass these guys for position. As Rick Craddock will get by the 49 as well, or will attempt to here through turns 1 and 2.
Field kind of broken up into distinct groupings right now. Joshua Clements trying to run away with the race lead.
Yeah, this pack started to separate way quicker than it did on our first run. About 10-15 laps in, about the top 6-7 cars were still about 2 seconds apart, but already even 6th place KJ is over 2 seconds back to our race leader Joshua Clements, so maybe some guys are being a little more conservative with their tires and fuel right now than they were on that first run. But the 92 still out front, though, as we're about a third of the way through this thing now on lap 31. Mac Daddy in a bit of an island of his own right now. At about 6/10 to the leader. About 4/10 to Steve Grant behind him, as Steve's still trying to fend off Monty Keller for that 3rd spot.
And if you're Mac Daddy in that 28, are you're trying to maintain a gap? I think he's trying to save the tires a little bit here as well. But you're also trying to maintain that gap back to the 011, even this early in the race, right?
Yeah, definitely a bit of a tiptoe act here for the 028. It's probably I would think he's probably pretty comfortable with where his car is at right now and where those gaps are.
Mm-hmm.
So all I'll be trying to focus on is making sure none of those change, and in about 10-15 laps from now, that gap to the 92 and that gap to the 11 are the same as they are right now. Of course, typically, later in the race, you'd probably see him try to pressure that 92 into a mistake or whatnot, but there's still so much time left that a lot of things can change, and probably just not maybe the best of moves right now, but that's okay. Still a lot of time to go.
How much time?
A lot of time.
That's right. Just gotta keep LIVIN living, man.
Absolutely. $60 to go here at Kansas. That lead for the 92 of Joshua Clements now increasing to almost a second over 2nd place Mac Daddy. Joshua Clements yet to win a race here in the Bomb Squad Cup Series, but has a great opportunity here tonight with how good that car is to maybe take win number 1. Again, still a lot of racing to go, but a very encouraging
There's a caution.
run. And we do have a yellow, and it looks like it's for Monty Keller. 2nd one of the evening, and we'll tell you what it was for. Even better, we'll show you.
That's right. Monty going
Got
down the
the
back
replays.
straight away, getting loose, trying to save it, hooks it back right, a la Ricky Stenhouse. And again, a great job. KJ, Terry Scott getting by there.
Yeah, KJ getting the Daniel Dye treatment tonight, where if you have an onboard of him, you'll see everything that happens. This is was onboard number 2 of him doing a great job slowing down to avoid spinning cars ahead of him. Did it with Rick Craddock and has now done it with Monty Keller. So the 028 looks a little more worse for wear than that 22 did. It's running a really great 4th place at the time, but the damage doesn't look all that bad, so I would think it's repairable. And with that and some new tires, he should be good to go.
And everyone gonna come down pit road, take advantage of this opportunity to put some fuel in the car, probably throw 4 fresh Mr. Feelgoods on the car. You know?
Definitely a one-stop race now from here on out with this yellow. So the fuel-saving element here likely out the window, as Mac Daddy just won the race off pit road barely over Clement, so the 28 will be the leader at the restart. We saw the 92 start to open up that lead a bit more, and just like that, the 28 wins that lead back with some help from his crew.
Louis, how you feeling on this fine Thursday night?
I'm feeling pretty good.
Feeling pretty good? Folks out there, let us know how you're doing. Love to hear you if you're tuning in. If you haven't said hello yet, say hello. Make sure you click the like button. Can't thank you enough for tuning in here. Our coverage of the Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series from the Kansas Speedway. Most iconic photo or way to photograph cars is at this track. For a very nefarious reason, but I digress.
Not so much anymore. They kind of modified that.
Did they?
Doesn't look the same as it once did. Yeah, with the new branding, they kind of shifted around how the front stretch looked, and so like it's still there, but it's not the same. Of course, if you know, you know.
If you know, you know.
Well, what Magoo knows is he
He's
just
gonna
got a
come down
lap
pit road.
lead, and that. So that will hand the lead back off to Mac Daddy in the 28. I think it's a safe bet at this point that Wiley King will not be rejoining the race, so it looks like he'll complete only about 3 or 4 laps in that 095, and Greg Stenzo in the 51 did not start the race, so down to, or have been down to 12 out on the track and 11 on the lead lap for a Silver Bullet, still looking for that opportunity to get back on the lead lap in that 4 machine.
Ready for this restart, Dewey.
So am I.
Should be a good one.
Yeah.
Restart number 2 incoming. Mac Daddy with control once again here. Coming to lap 41 of 94. 54 laps to go here from Kansas. Green flag, we're back underway.
Great start there for the 28 of Mac Daddy, and Yeah, even with these two cautions, this thing has flown by as we're already just a few laps shy of the halfway mark here tonight. Power Melon making quick work here on the restart. Going to get by Brain Fade there out of turn 2.
And looks to the inside
Try
Terry
to get by
Scott
Terry
now.
Scott, yeah. At 18 is on a mission.
Well, now you're in a weird zone too, right? We said 54 laps to go. You know, you can go with one stop. You have 68 laps of fuel, or up to 68 laps. So your lap number versus how many pit stops you need to make, there's a difference there, right? There's a little bit of a discrepancy. I think a lot of these drivers are going to probably pit about halfway through this stage of the race. So lap 27, 28 into this run, they'll probably pit and break it in half. Be interesting to see what drivers elect to go further than that. But now you don't need to save anything, do we?
Absolutely. The fuel-saving element of this race is gone.
For the time being.
Obviously, you can still short pit with the tires falling off a tad sooner. So, yeah, you mentioned it. I would think a lot of guys in this field you'll see come down around lap 68, 69 if this thing stays green until that point. Maybe we'll see a couple that stretch the fuel all the way and come down closer to 75. Maybe see a couple of them short pit and pit around 62, 63. So we'll see what they all elect to do, but with the fuel saving gone, the strategy, though, remains at least somewhat relevant. Got a good battle here around third place. KJ currently holding on to that spot, but Rick Craddock wants it, and he wants it bad. And Steve Grant in the 011 might want it a bit more, as he's in a bump draft to the 22 briefly down the back and into 3. Nelly in the fray as well, and that 103 is going to make a move here on the front stretch on that 011, and that is to get himself into the top 5. It looks like he's going to make that pass complete.
Moved Nelly, as Dewey said, up inside the top 5 once again here tonight in that 103.
Oh, Magoo just about lost it out of turn 2, but he managed to save that car, but not before a little bit of contact with the wall, and I'm sure a lot of tire degradation. So that's going to cost that 144 a bit of time, but a great save nonetheless to keep this thing green.
You think the tires like it when we say they're getting degraded?
Probably not.
You don't think that's their kink?
Yeah, I don't know. I will not be elaborating further. Man,
I like my brand of dry humor, Dewey.
Still.
I like my brand of dry humor. I would appreciate it if you chuckled once now and then, you know?
Haha.
Alright, jerk. Why don't you bend your left elbow?
Oh. Oh. Now, see, you know...
Oh, you can't do that.
Yeah, not completely, no. Anyway, I'm pretty sure everybody in this field has 2 fully functioning elbows. Mac Daddy's probably a little better than anybody else right now, as he will lead this thing at lap 47. We are officially halfway through the race.
Wow. What are you going to do at your halfway break?
What I've already been doing.
Oh, what's that?
Nothing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sitting here talking about some race cars. Joshua Clements trying to close in here on that 028. We saw him take the lead away from Mac Daddy on the last run and get about a second ahead of the 28 prior to the race's second caution, but hasn't quite been able to get back up there since we went back green. These top 2 look to be pulling a bit away from third place KJ, who still has Rick Craddock very close to his bumper. Of course, the 22 went for that spin earlier to bring out the first caution, but has recovered very nicely and now runs back in the top 5 once again.
Welcome in, Spring Guy.
In 3 weeks, is he going to become summer guy?
Ooh, good question. Good question.
That hard-hitting journalism.
Yeah. The only thing that was hitting hard this past week was your elbow on the pavement.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
I hope someone clips that. Please, I'm gonna clip it. That was too good. I'm sorry, Dewey.
This is unreal.
Can we laugh about it? Is it, or do you not want me to laugh about it?
No, you can laugh about it. It's alright.
Alright, good.
You can laugh at my expense. Go ahead.
Just know that JTN doesn't have healthcare, so,
Yeah, you're telling me. I feel like I've joined the circus trying to schedule an appointment to see an orthopedic for this thing. Been a fantastic time.
watching this 92 right now, he's... Are you noticing what I'm noticing? He rolls deeper into the corner, so he's not able to get back on the gas, and it's like this difference in philosophy on how to attack the corners here. But then through 3 and 4, he's not as aggressive on entry, loses a little bit of time, and then loses a little bit more time on corner exit. So right now, gains some time down in turns 1 and 2 on the 28. 28 pulls it back off of 2. And then continues, the 92 loses a little bit more time through 3 and 4 on both ends of that corner.
See, I'm not sure if it's a philosophy difference or if this is a tire conservation strategy here. Because you're not going as deep into the corner and you're letting off a tad earlier, then you're not using up your tires as much to get through the corners. So maybe that 92, oh, don't brush the wall, but maybe that 92 trying to stay with that 28, but maybe using a tad less rubber in the process, which, if that's the case, that could set himself up real nicely later on in this race. KJ finally has some breathing room in that 029 as he's gapped Rick Craddock now by, looks like, around half a second-ish. Nelly in the 103, still within striking distance of that 22. But KJ can breathe a little easier now and maybe set his sights on our top 2 runners.
You can just hear the difference. Right now in these cars on corner entry and how deep they're running it. And it's all based off of the tires they have left.
Well, speaking of tires and pitting and all of that, we're gonna have 36 laps to go next time by, so we are slowly, or rather rapidly approaching this fuel window to the end of the race opening up. You can go about 34, maybe 35 laps on a can. So in the next couple laps, you'll be good to go in the fuel department. We'll see if anybody elects to take a risk and hit this early, even though their tires obviously will be way worse towards the end. As Nelly will pass Rick Craddock here for 4th out of turn 2. The 103 now in his highest running spot of the race. Tower Malin looking for 6th on Steve Grant here down the front stretch. Haven't seen that 18 in the top 5 at all in this race tonight, which is very uncharacteristic. But You never know. That 18 now making that pass for P6. Maybe this car is starting to peak at the right time. Perhaps we'll see him further up in the running order here over the next couple laps.
Perhaps.
Oh, got one spinning down the back. It's Monty Keller again in the 028. He's down into the inside wall.
Well, stay
And
green.
he backs it in. No caution.
Isn't something important to watch, though, as these drivers and teams start to try to figure out when they want to make this pit stop.
Oh, he's stuck in the grass, Joe. I don't know if they're going to call this thing a caution or... Never mind, he just towed it.
He was out of the way. Race officials here in the Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series, they like to let him race, you know?
Yeah, tough break there for Monty. He's going to lose probably 2-3 laps, as Silver Bullet did earlier. And the Forest, speaking of, now back on the lead lap. I did not realize he took the wave around again under the second yellow, but he did in fact do that. And now he's running up in 8th. Back up at the front, the 92 is all over the back bumper of the 28, and KJ has caught them both. We got a 3-horse race here for the lead, and Tyler Mallon has also just gotten by Rick Craddock for 5th. So now, on lap 62, that 18 has finally cracked the top 5.
I think it might be a little too late, though, for this 18 to have a shot at the win without a caution, with how far back.
I don't know.
All right, now.
It's only going to be tough. With a caution, obviously, he'll have a chance, but tough to say right now if it runs green to the end.
So I think these top 3 are going to be content to just run in line here until we make this pit stop.
Agreed.
And then figure it out after that.
And now Tyler for 4th on Nelly into 1. As Rick Craddock has lost a spot to Steve Grant, so that 22 now back in 7th.
I mean, compare the lap times of the 18 versus the 029, for example.
Yeah, it definitely will be interesting. As looks like the 92 scraped the wall there out of 4, and that's going to allow KJ to make a move down onto the apron for that runner-up spot. They're going to be side-by-side here into 1. And KJ barely clears the 92, shuts the door on him, but they're going to have a crossover here down the back. But KJ gets loose, and here comes Clements down the backstretch.
Oh, we got a great battle for second going on right now, closing in on green flag pit stops. Clements going to go back on by for that second spot into turn 3. But KJ going to have a run here on the bottom as Clements is going to tap the wall.
Yeah, another crossover move, and KJ will clear for a second here across the line, so great little battle there. And I'm sure Mac Daddy would love it if they continue to do that.
I think
so
they're going to settle
pull
down.
on away.
Tyler Mallon would like it too, right? Because that 18 was able to close the gap there to second and third just a little bit.
Yes, he was. About 3.7 seconds last time by was the gap between the 18 and the 28. As Nelly starting to fall into the grasp of Steve Grant here. This is going to be a battle for 5th at a turn 4. So we got 28 to go. So now we're about at that point where we're on the edge of the tire fall off. So I think now we're in that zone where you're going to see a majority of this field hit pit road. We shall see when and in what order they end up doing that. But now it's going to be about that time where that true window will indeed be open. Battle for the lead here to 3. KJ going to the bottom of Mac Daddy here, and he's going to clear easily.
I just took it, huh?
Yeah, he did. So for the first time tonight, KJ...
Clements is coming to pit lane.
Yeah, 92 is going to be the first taker here on pit road.
That's him.
Oh, when he almost spun it. Good
Might have
save there,
sped.
and here comes Nelly. Rick Craddock coming down this time as well, so 69 looks to be the magic number
Nice.
here. Yeah, very nice time here for this round of pit stops.
Well, that puts them with 25 laps to go. So again, we talked about trying to split the rest of this race in half. That actually about does it, right? You ran more laps on this first run than you're going to run on the second run, so that kind
Our
of
leaders.
good opportunity to figure out what your car really has. As you said, leaders down pit lane now.
And Tyler Mallon as well, who just gained a ton of time coming to pit road. He about waited as late as possible to put the brakes on it. It might have just worked for him.
So let's watch this 92 as he gets back up to speed here, because Clements was the first of our leaders to pit. We'll see where he cycles out in relation to Mac Daddy and Kilojoules, who pit this last time around. Silver Bullet, though, staying out on track in the lead lap there in the 4. So the 4 car is your actual leader right now, Dewey,
Yes.
as the 92 is getting up to speed right in front of him.
Terry Scott and Brain Fade are also on pit road this time. Steve Grant in the 11 also has yet to come down pit road. As KJ will exit ahead of Mac Daddy, but look at the 18 of Tyler, how much time that 18 has gained. He's going to come out of here only about a second or so behind the 28, and that was about a 3.5 second gap prior to these pit stops. So just like that, mentioned it about 10 laps ago, that 18 is coming to life at the right time.
Look how much time the 92 gained by pitting a lap earlier.
Yeah, he is going to cycle out in a pretty good spot here as KJ will, I think, take the lead here, actually.
No, okay.
Or maybe just unlapped himself.
Oh, wait. Why isn't the 92 the leader?
Oh, contact between the 4 and the 28, and Mac Daddy's in the wall out of turn 2.
What happened to the 92 that he's not the leader, Dewey?
The 4 hadn't pit yet.
Right, but the 029 is the leader, right? Or, I'm so confused. My timing and scoring's messed up.
Terry Scott back down pit road. I think he might have sped on his pit stop here. Yeah, Mac Daddy just saw that contact between him and Silver Bullet. The 4 got a bit loose on the bottom, and 28 went up into the wall. So Tyler Mallon now, he's going to cycle out into 3rd once that 4 car pits.
Mac Daddy's driving like a bat out of hell right now, huh?
Yeah, I mean, obviously not, anything malicious the 4 did, but I'm sure the 28 might be a wee bit irritated with what just took place.
Yeah, well, those are teammates. They'll figure it out.
I'm sure they will. Silver Bullet now on pit road, so
That will
now
cycle
Clements
the
will
lead.
cycle through.
I was confused.
Yeah. So the 92, I think, is going to have about a 3-second advantage over KJ here when this all finally cycles through. And I believe the 18 is going to be roughly a 1.5 seconds behind KJ. I believe. Okay, yeah, about 2.7 seconds from 1st to 2nd, and about 2 seconds from 2nd to 3rd. And another 0.5 seconds right now from Tyler to Mac Daddy. So yeah, Keith hit the wall. Not ideal, but still within striking distance right now of P3. But a great call by Joshua Clements to hit a lap early has netted him the race lead once again, and by a pretty healthy margin. KJ, though, took about 0.3 out of that 92's lead last time by. And at that clip, KJ will get there before this thing ends, so
Getting
make
there
it a
and
little
passing
interesting.
Getting there and passing them, two different things, though, Dewey.
That is certainly true. Gap's down to 2.1. KJ taking again about 0.3 a lap, so at that rate, KJ should get to the 92 around lap 83 or lap 84. Which would leave a 10 to go battle for the win. Ooh-wee. And the gap this time by is going to be only about a 1/10 less that time. As Mac Daddy has also caught Tyler. So we could have a battle for third here as well. I think the 28's tires might be a tad more worn, and obviously just a little bit of right side damage from contact earlier with the 4, but still a lot of speed under that hood. Gap is down to 1.9 between Clements and KJ that time by. So he's slowly chipping away.
Slowly but surely.
And it's still about a 2.7 second gap between KJ and Tyler, so that gap has stayed about the same as it was.
Mm-hmm.
So right now, those two duking it out for third, while KJ attempts to flag down our leader. Down to 1.8 that time. He's going to need to take out more than a 10th, though, if he wants to get there before this thing ends. A 10th lap is not going to cut it. As we now are coming to 14 to go here at Kansas. Gap down to 1.6.
Oh,
Took 2/10 out that time.
dude, he's moving right now.
And KJ is giving it his all. Tyler and Mac Daddy took about 4/10 out of the gap to KJ that time. But they're still over 4 seconds behind as they run. 13 to go at the stripe this time. Joshua Clements trying to hold on for dear life and take his first ever win here in the Bomb Squad Cup Series, but the 029 of KJ has cut the gap in half since this round of pit stops was completed. Still resides at 1.6 seconds, but 12 and a half laps for that 029 to try and get there. It's a matter of whether or not he does it.
And again, it's going to get harder and harder to gain time here as this run goes on. So watch for that. Watch for the fall off. Joshua Clemens is closing in on his first victory here in the Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series.
Gap is down to 1.5. Down to a second and a half. And the 28 is still all over the back bumper of the 18. I think Mac Daddy might be trying to wait until right towards the end to make this pass on Tyler. Maybe hoping that Tyler burns up his tires trying to defend the position. So 2 distinct battles going on right now. Clements actually gained a couple of hundredths back that time. So still a second and a half from first to second. As KJ is trying to do everything in his power to catch that 92 and get this race lead away. And out of turn 4, Clements closing up on the 11 of Steve Grant, who will put a lap down as we reach the Death Craver. 10 to go here at Kansas.
It's now a 1 to go, Dewey.
Unbelievable. You could have told me that in the production meeting.
I could have. You're right. It wasn't obvious. I wasn't doing a lot of talking tonight, was I?
No, not particularly.
No, 10 to go. And really, this field is strung out right now. Closest battle is for this third spot. Between Tyler Mallon and Mac Daddy, no love lost there between those two. Not a hateful or vengeful rivalry, but a rivalry nonetheless. You know, they're 10 numbers apart.
Yet, this is... Oh, okay.
Mac Daddy, I think, you know, we've seen a shift in the last year and a half here in the Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series of the food chain. This 18 team, they've come in and they have been the dominant car week in and week out. And for the 28, that was the position that he was in. So he's trying to get back to that top spot. It's only natural to maybe have a little bit of dislike for the guy that knocked you off the top.
Yeah, I think that's like a natural thing. Like, I think it'd be weird if he didn't have that little bit of... Maybe resentment is the right word, where...
Nah, he hates him. He just hates him.
Maybe just resents a little bit, just some guy coming in and just kind of flexing on everybody else and whatnot. But this is about where these two have run for about the last 10 laps. I think Mac Daddy's just been waiting for the right opportunity to try to make that move, but Tyler did pull a bit that time. But back up towards the front, the gap between the 92 and the 029 has gone back up to about 2.2 seconds. KJ was doing a nice job of closing in slowly but surely on that 92, but I think the 029 might have burned his stuff up trying to do it.
Well, remember
as
this.
He's now 7/10 back in the hole.
This 92 car fell off the hardest of the top 3 before that pit cycle, so interesting to see if we see the car go off of that proverbial cliff here as the laps tick away. 6 to go here from the Kansas Speedway for Joshua Clements, the Ally Chevrolet, closing in on victory number 1.
Yeah, coming up on 5 laps to go this time by for Joshua Clements, who again has not won before here in this series, but had the right strategy call. The gap is now up to 2.4, and we'll see what it is this time at the line. Back up to 2.5 seconds, so he's got a second more to work with than he previously did. And worth noting as well, Tyler Mallon is now closing in on KJ, so he may have a battle for second here pretty soon.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I think that the 029 definitely burned up his stuff trying to catch that 92, and it may cost him the runner-up spot as a result. And Mac Daddy's not that far behind, so give it a lap or two. These 3 might be nose to tail here. But that 92 is approaching gone territory here as we are coming up on just 3 to go, and Tyler Mallon is there.
And again, folks, this is the battle for second. Joshua Clements about clear by almost 3 seconds now with the race lead with 3 laps to go. As the battle for second starts to rage on, here comes Tyler Mallon. Look at the inside. KJ
Whoa!
Loose off the corner.
Yeah, I'm not sure if KJ got loose or if he was trying to block the 18.
I don't think
Either way, he's
that's
holding on by a thread
Dude,
right
that's
now.
not how you block. KJ knows how to
Yeah,
block.
I don't know.
That ain't how you block.
But these two battling it out here has allowed Mac Daddy to close the gap back. So just like that, our top 3 indeed are nose to tail. I was going to dive it into turn 3. KJ missed the corner and up into the wall goes the 029. He's trying to save it. I don't know if he can. He's warping all over the place in the process, and somehow that car is going to stay straight, but it's now his car that's in 4th place.
There might have been some contact there that we didn't see as well with the 18 with how much warp that 029 was going through.
Perhaps.
KJ might have been the only one that saw it. That was not the time
That was a lot.
for that to happen. Into turns 3 and 4, Mac Daddy again staying there with the 18, but it's Joshua Clements with the race lead. Monty Keller coming down pit lane. Here comes the 92. White flag in the air. 1 lap to go, presented by Death Craver, now available on Amazon.
The battle for second rages on. Mac Daddy's got one more chance at this thing here through turns 3 and 4 to get that second spot away from Tyler Mallon. But back up at the front here for into turn 3 for the final time. Joshua Clements is going to make his way through turns 3 and 4, and he is going to be winless no more. The 92 of Joshua Clements will take his first ever Bomb Squad Cup Series win here at Kansas.
Tyler Mallon able to hold on to second. Mac Daddy third. Kilojoule's there in 4th, and Nelly going to come home with the top 5 in the 103.
Great finish there for Nelly. Was able to hold off Rick Craddock there, only a couple tenths separating those two. Silver Bullet, last car in the lead lap in 7th. Good recovery after his spin earlier under green. And then Brain Fade, Steve Grant, and Terry Scott will round out tonight's top 10. What do we got going on here?
Tyler just wrecking people. Oh my goodness.
Unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
A celebratory dump, perhaps.
See all the congratulatory, my goodness. Congratulatory comments in chat. We're going to get to talk.
Monty.
We're going to get to talk with our race winner, Joshua Clements, here in a few moments. We'll get to watch him do the burnouts and whatnot first, but folks, stick around. You don't want to miss that interview. We'll talk with the rest of our top 3 as well. But Dewey, a fun little night of racing here from Kansas.
A fun night of racing indeed, as the 92 is going to burn it down with what is now left of his car.
Joshua Clements, first time Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series winner here at Kansas.
You ever wonder about how or why Kansas isn't pronounced Kinsaw? No?
Dewey, I don't know what you're on, but please do not put it in my drink.
You don't want it?
No.
I'm just on serotonin, man. I'm pretty happy.
Okay, all right. Fair
You
enough.
don't want serotonin?
No, I'm miserable. All right. Joshua Clemens, though, he's not miserable. We're going to talk with him here in a few moments, folks. Make sure if you haven't already, drop a like on the video, subscribe, share the stream with folks. I mean, first-time winner here. That's pretty cool. We'll get to talk with Josh. We'll get to talk with Tyler Mallon. We'll talk with Mac Daddy, all three of them after this race. Again, folks, can't thank you enough for tuning in to JTN tonight. Click like, subscribe, follow, do all those things. You can follow us on our social media. We have those things linked down in the video description below. A lot of great stuff that we're going to have going on here on JTN. Also, go check out our friends at Track and Turf. We got a new episode of the Fake Racers podcast pinned at the top of the live stream chat. We encourage you at the conclusion of tonight's race to go give that a look, go give it a watch. Click the like button on that video as well. Help us in the algorithm. We'd appreciate it so much. Yeah, if you want to hear my opinions on racing, that's a good place to go find them. So, yeah. There was some breaking news while we were broadcasting tonight, too. Kyle Larson, Hendrick Motorsports, has filed for a waiver. So.
Well, they get it, though. It's the real thing.
It's going to be funny when they don't. Even though the precedent says they should.
It would be and it wouldn't be at the same time.
At the end of the day, it doesn't matter. That's the thing. Go watch Fake Racers podcast. I gave an in-depth breakdown of why the waiver really doesn't matter in the grand scheme of money. All right, results on the screens now. We're just kind of waiting for our drivers to make their way into the media center. Yeah, Dewey, I don't know. Fun little race tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, it looks like Mac Daddy left. I guess he's not going to talk to us.
Guess it's only first and second tonight then, Joe.
I guess. All right, let's go ahead and start by talking with our second place finisher, driver of the number 18, Tyler Mallon. Tyler, you got a copy?
I got a copy, Joe.
Hey, man, second place finish tonight. How you feeling?
I'm pretty good, and we all knew it was coming. That 92 in victory lane. I'm so happy for him to get his first win. That was really, that was really cool to see. He's been fast all last, I don't know how many weeks, but I'm so glad he finally got one. He absolutely deserves it. I'm so happy for that 92 team.
What's obviously tonight you talk a lot about that. I think we will probably hear similar comments throughout the garage area after this race, but for you in this bunch, you guys started a little bit deeper in the field. Why the cautious approach to trying to get to the front?
Well, at the beginning, first off, I just left my race setup in for qualifying, and that kind of took probably 3/10 off, so that didn't help. And then at the first run, I was just trying to be patient, and we got a caution. I think I came out third in line after pit stops under the first caution, but it was right at the point where if we stretched it on fuel, we could make it on one stop if it went green all the way. So I went back into pit lane and topped off just to get that extra little bit, because I'm not the best at fuel mileage. So and right from there, we just kind of couldn't get the track position back all the way until the very end of the run. So but by then we had lost the draft and they were like 3 seconds ahead of me. I'm honestly amazed. I got all the way up to the 29 and the 028. The 029 and the 28 with the pit stops there, but just track position was our killer. I feel like we had a very fast 18 Wellbutrin Camry. Still haven't gotten this paint scheme in victory lane, which is a little bit fitting. So, but it is what it is. Like I said, I'm glad that 92 got one. He's been unbelievably fast and probably one of the most deserving winners in the series that I've come across after the season he's had so far. He's been doing great, and know we're gonna see more of him in victory lane. So it's just really cool to see.
Well, Tyler, before we head down into victory lane and talk with the race winner here tonight, man, I'm gonna hand you the microphone. You got some more partners on the car, some more folks to shout out before we let you go here tonight. Floor is yours. You know what to do.
First off, thank you to you guys for broadcasting tonight. Thanks to Brian and Kathy Villas for sponsoring the series, Magoo for putting the show on every week, everybody in BSR for being such a great group of people to race with, and Interstate Batteries and Will Beechman and whatnot for being on the car. It's been a lot of fun this season, and glad to keep the stretch of good runs going.
Well, Tyler, again, congratulations on a great run here tonight. Continued success here this season. Looking forward to next week at Talladega, seeing what you and this 18 team do there. And again, can't thank you enough for your time as always.
Thank you very much.
Tyler Mallon, driver of the number 18, your second place finisher here tonight from Kansas. Let's go ahead and now head down into Victory Lane and talk with our first time race winner, driver of the number 92, Joshua Clements. Josh, you got a copy?
Indeed, I do.
All right. Easy. This is going to be the easiest set of questions for me ever. How dang good does it feel to win that race tonight?
It's such a relief, especially after the last 2 weeks were heartbreakers. To just come home and, fairly. I mean, it helped with the pit stop. Very dominating, actually 3-second gap as well. Felt really nice.
We've seen throughout the year, you and this 92 bunch, you guys are usually the first to come down pit lane, and tonight it worked out that the last section of the race, you could break it down into roughly halves, and feel confident with that to make it on fuel, that being said. Why do you think that was a crucial part in keeping you out, or getting you out in front to that big lead, that short pitting by a lap? And how did you manage to save the tires? Because at one point it looked like KJ was going to catch you. He was catching you at 0.3 of a lap or so, and then eventually you started pulling back away.
Yeah, I saw once I was getting tight, and then KJ got on me, and then was going up to battle with 28. And so I'm like, okay, they're going to mess each other up a little bit. This is my time to pit. And so I absolutely charged pit lane, nearly spun it out.
Yeah.
Got really close to that, really charged it, and then that got me a gap. And then luckily, I guess 20 had a little bit difficulty, or wasn't able to be with KJ, and so KJ was on his own, and then he was running me down, and that had me worried. I was like, surely he's gonna fall off at some point, and then finally, for like 10 to go, I started creeping back up on him. So worked out in the end, and then I was just managing traffic at that point. So yeah, undercut, definitely perfect lap to pit. I wouldn't have chosen any other lap.
Well, and we heard from Tyler, a lot of congratulations from the 18 team. I'm sure a lot of congratulations from a lot of these drivers after this first victory here tonight. You talked about after that first question, the disappointment from the last few races. Does this feel like, a lot of times when we see drivers win their first race, I know you probably the answer is going to be, I don't want to talk about, winning more races and whatnot, and don't want to talk about it in definitive terms maybe, but does this feel like this race tonight can be that launching point for these next 2 months of races where we see you and this 92 bunch establish yourselves as a contender for the championship going into next season?
Yeah, this car tonight was so quick on the short run. It was just, it turned on a dime. It was so easy to drive. Still need to work on longer a little bit. It really helped that Tyler didn't have our draft at the start. So overall speed, still need some work to do. But yeah, big momentum these last 2-3 weeks. Just I've had speed to contend. Weeks prior, I had speed to stay in the draft. And so that's a big jump. And, working towards next season, getting constantly better, building setups, figuring out my driving style. So definitely a launching point, and hopefully we can land a few more to close the season out.
Well, Josh, again, congratulations on the big win here tonight. Before we let you go, I want to give the opportunity as a race winner. Got some great partners on the car, got some great folks behind you. Floor is yours. You know what to do.
Yeah. Huge shout out to I kind of teammate. It's Tyler. Big sport. I'm very happy that I won. We able to bounce ideas a little bit off each other. And obviously he made my cars. So super nice. I don't know. For parents, for raising me, I guess. I don't know. I don't know. Ally for being there with me in Lowe's, even though I never run the Lowe's car, but maybe next week I'll remember too. Yeah, just a huge win and happy to keep going.
Josh, again, congratulations on the win here tonight. Go celebrate, go enjoy. Always a pleasure to get the opportunity to talk with you. Know we're going to be talking with you more here throughout the summer. Congratulations again, and once again, can't thank you enough for your time here after this big victory tonight from Kansas.
Yep. Hopefully I'll see you next week.
You won't see me, but you might see JT.
That's true.
I'm going to be gone. I don't want to get your hopes up. But
Okay, well, you can read in the news when I win again next
I
week.
will. I will be watching. I will be watching eagerly to see what you and this 92 team do next week. Good luck next week, and we'll hopefully talk with you in hopefully I'll talk with you in 2 weeks' time.
Yeah, hope so.
Joshua Clements, driver of the number 92, first-time race winner here tonight from Kansas. Dewey, that's going to wrap up our post-race coverage here from the Kansas Speedway. Great night of racing action, and it concludes with a first-time race winner.
Yeah, I mentioned in the pre-race that just because there was a bit of a smaller field would not mean that there was any shortage of on-track action. And that certainly proved true tonight. Had a lot of great battles throughout the race, and again, capping it off with a first-time winner is never a bad thing either. So congrats once again to Joshua Clements, and I hope that was as fun for you to watch as it was for me.
It was a great time up here in the booth for us, folks. It's hopefully a great time for you at home. Hope you enjoyed tonight's show. Be a friend, tell a friend, share what we got going on here on JTN. We can't thank you enough for tuning in, for giving the support that you do, and we hope you tune in next week as the Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series heads to the Talladega Super Speedway. As always, a big thank you to Brian and Kathy Voiles Trucking for their constant support of not only the Bomb Squad Racing League, but of our broadcasts each and every Thursday night here live on JTN. A big thank you, as always, to the admin group as well. They do a phenomenal job here at Bomb Squad. This is a true brotherhood in this league. These guys... It's awesome. I don't know. There's not a better way to describe it, but a brotherhood. These guys are awesome. We love each and every one of them, and yeah, we hope you guys tune in 1 week from tonight as Bomb Squad Racing Cup Series takes on the Talladega Super Speedway, folks. With all of that being said, though, for all of us here at JTN, for Bristol, our producer, for my colleague Dewey Schramm, I've been Joe Towanski. Thank you so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time live right here on JTN. So long for now, folks.
Three wide for second, but Sean Whitehill is going to bring it home and win the race at Atlanta Motor Speedway.
Ricky J closing up, off turn 4. He's going to have a run to the inside. He blocks into the grass. Checkers out. Hardy wins it.
Ricky, what's going on in your brain right now?
Yeah, putting on 4 big rubber shoes and 2 gallons of, 2 cans of exploding dino juice here, Joe.
Down to the tunnel turn. These guys are throwing it through there and around to the back. Oh, no. The wall, as well as RJ Bishop. Down in front of Keith Hughes. Oh, no! Big hit. RJ Bishop.
Oh my!
Oh,
Ricky
big
J,
wreck!
big crash into the wall.
Oh,
The leaders
no.
have wrecked. Ricky J is upside down. Magoo is hard in the wall. Tyler Mallon escapes with no damage. Everybody else in this main group, including Nelly, is junk.
Through the north chute they'll go. The 24's into the wall. Almost contact there. The 10 with the shallow entry into turn 4. It's going to be a drag race down the front straightaway. Folks, the 24's in the wall. They make contact. They're around. Napick goes on through the flip. Rich Napick's going to win the Culver Block 200 in thrilling fashion.